everyone, my name is Kendra and welcome to my week 1 video presentation on the foundations of theory. So this is my first time taking a completely online course, so please forgive any awkwardness on my part. This is my first time doing one of these recorded presentations, so let's just bear through it together. So as I mentioned in my introduction, on the discussion board, I graduated from the University of Laverne in 2018 with my BA in Creative Writing and Journalism. I live and work in Claremont, California at a public relations firm where I handle internal and external communications for local school districts. As you can see in the bottom right corner, that is me with my boyfriend of 6 years. We live together in the area with our cat Cheesy. That's me holding him up in the top right and they're down in the middle. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I am excited to be starting my grad program with all of you. I made the decision to go back to school so that I could get ahead in my career. So I'm excited to finally be getting started. Alright, so getting right to it, to define the field of communication studies, I will reference the video that we all watched during our introduction to communication theory titled What is Communication and What is Theory, presented by Biola University on YouTube. So my definition of the field of communication studies is as follows. The field of communication studies is society's attempt to understand how communication affects its own functionality in the real world. Now, what I mean by this definition is that we as a society believe that communication is an important part of how we maintain our society, from conflict resolution between two people to conflict resolution between two countries or more. Or to use Dr. Molohov's example from the video, using conflict resolution or using communication as a means for marriage or for divorce. So Dr. Molhoff gives this definition for communication from Julia Wood. He says, communication is a systemic process in which individuals interact with and through symbols to create and interpret meanings. So if this is how we define communication, then communication studies for me is about understanding how the systemic process works, how different meanings can be derived from communication, if understanding is required for communication to work, and how or why communication can cause positive or negative outcomes. He then goes on to cite the definition of a theory. A theory offers an account of what something is, how it works, what it produces or causes to happen, and what should be the case. Dr. Molhoff quotes Proverbs as well, saying that words have the power to impart both life and death to whom they are spoken. I think that the field of communication studies, its purpose is to use theories to help us discover why words have that power. And by uncovering the answer to that almighty why, then we as individuals and as a society can better use communication to create positive outcomes. All right, so to answer the question, provide a purpose for communication theory, I think that we need communication theories in order to understand the importance of communication and its effect on our daily lives, not only as individuals, but also in terms of being a part of a society whose functionality depends on communication. I think that on the surface, communicating doesn't seem so difficult. However, communication is complex, and there is so much that can happen between sender and receiver that distorts the apprehension of what is being communicated. It happens all the time when someone says one thing, but the person they were speaking to extrapolates something totally different. And that can happen for many, many reasons. So I think the purpose of theories is to help us understand what is the point of communication, what is at stake, how can we learn more, and how can we become masters of communication insofar that we as individuals and we in our society benefit from our more complete understanding of communication theory. All right, so to answer or to explain the validity of communication theory in research, first, validity as defined by our Theories of Human Communication textbook is the truth value of a theory. So does the theory have value? This is the primary form of validity in practical theories. The second kind of validity is correspondence, which begs the question, are the concepts and relations specified by the theory actually observable in the real world? The third kind of validity is generalizability. which asks how inclusive the theory is. So if I am understanding this question correctly, the value of communication theory in research is determined by the theory's inherent value, whether to an individual or society at large. It is also determined by the theory's ability to be observed in the real world and by how inclusive the theory is, because if the theory is too specific or too general, that might diminish its value in some way. So sharing how communication theory may contribute to a Christian worldview perspective and sharing the gospel with others. I think that the most important way that communication theory contributes to a Christian worldview perspective and sharing the gospel with others is the way that communication theory almost demands that we as scholars understand that our varying audiences come from a wide range of perspectives and beliefs and backgrounds, and that needs to be understood if we are to communicate effectively with them. I do believe that there needs to be some common understanding between sender and receiver in order for communication to be occurring. This can inform our sharing of the gospel by teaching us to understand to whom we are speaking, so we can then approach our subject matter in terms that the receiver may connect with on a more personal and in a more meaningful way. All right, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you so much.